Aaron Burnett, out front on this Tuesday, President Obama snubbed. The White House says it offered to have a, quote, encounter with the new Iranian President Hassan Rouhani at the United Nations today. Iran's response, according to a senior U.S. official, quote, it was too complicated for them back home. Still, both leaders did find the time to send a message to the other one.
We are determined to prevent Iran from developing a nuclear weapon.
Iran poses absolutely no threat to the world or the region.
They were in the same place at the same time. So why didn't they meet? Jim Sciutto is with me now. He's at the UN. And Jim, you know, there was a lot of willy-woney in the lead up to the UN meeting. They were both in the same place at the same time. And the White House had made it clear that they were willing for there to be some sort of a meeting. Why was it so difficult to have one?
Well, as you say, the White House put itself out there. I was just listening to an interview right now that President Rouhani is giving to our own Christiane Amanpour. She asked him this question, and he said he had permission from Tehran to do the meeting, that he and his team discussed it, they considered it seriously, but decided that diplomacy takes time and the time was not right. It may very well be that he made a political calculation here, that is, a domestic political calculation. He's getting a lot of grief from hardliners back in Tehran for the outreach he's done so far, including, for instance, his statement during his speech before the UNGA saying that Iran has no intention of building a nuclear weapon, this kind of thing. So he may have calculated that he's gone as far as he can and is withstanding as much political opposition back home as he can, and that a meeting with Obama would have been a step too far. But as you say, the U.S. put itself out there and, in effect, was snubbed.
And at the end of the day, Jim, you know, the Ayatollah is still pulling the strings here. I mean, in a sense, right? Just look at the words the White House used to explain why Iran chose not to meet the president, right? Quote, it was too complicated for him back home. And you were just talking about that. But is that, in essence, a reference to the fact that the man calling the shots isn't Hassan Rouhani? It is the supreme leader. You know, if Ayatollah Khamenei said no, could it be a warning sign that, you know, the president may say what he's going to say, the president of Iran, but the guy calling the shots on the nuclear program is back in Tehran right now, and there may be no change in the relationship.
True. Well, we do also know that what Rouhani has been able to say so far, he couldn't have done without the supreme leader's blessing as well. But this is a very difficult man. 16 years ago, we had another reformist president in Iran, President Khatami. There was a lot of excitement similar to what we have today, and it was the supreme leader who allowed him to do that kind of thing, make those gestures, and then pulled him back. That is always possible here. That said, I think when you look at Iran, even the supreme leader is a rational, cagey man. And I think what's really driving this is that the economic sanctions are hurting Iran, and he, like everyone else there, is looking to see if there's a window where they can get out from under those sanctions without giving up too much. And that's going to be the real secret here.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, there during the elections, we saw those sanctions, and there's no question they were hurting.